right now. And just noticing as you sit here and, if your camera is on or off, just noticing what are you most present with? Maybe sometimes there's a tendency of having to be someone. So seeing if we can just let everything go and just be here, just this being that you are. So welcoming yourself exactly as you are. Know when to be, nowhere to go, just being here. But today we're practicing even in a little more depth the art of just being. Sitting here with each other in silence for a little longer stretch than we often do, noticing what rises, then allowing whatever it is to just pass and change. Noticing if there is a need to suppress anything, seeing if you can just give yourself permission to allow it to be here. And so we can consider this time a time of pausing from noise, from lists of what to do, from anything that might be taking you away from just being. So allowing the body to just be comfortable, allowing the mind to settle on the breath, allowing the breath to settle in the body. Maybe just taking in a deep breath and then a long exhale, just turning toward noticing the inner world. You notice yourself kind of getting distracted, the mind wandering, caught up in a dream, caught up in a story. Just coming back to being and noticing what it feels like to be in this way. Checking in with the body, noticing if there's any tension rising, any tightness, any agitation, or maybe not, maybe peacefulness. Without glorifying one or the other, they're all welcome. The beauty is in noticing what's here for you right now. You're in this pause, you're in this moment of silence. How about every time you notice the mind has gone into story, it's maybe playing a movie for you, or every time that you've noticed yourself just completely gone from this moment as the mind is taking you somewhere else. How about bringing a kind and loving sense to the moment? Kind of maybe even just a little smile every time you notice that, kind of softening around it, knowing that this is okay and this is normal for the mind to wander in this way. The important thing is to notice where it went. What's taking you from the moment? What's occupying your mind? And then checking in with the body and noticing if this is creating tension or tightness. And again, bringing that kind of glance towards it, softening around any expectation, any judgment. And then coming back to maybe any anchor that you might have in the moment, the breath flowing in and out, the body and the areas of contact with the surface holding you. So there is this fine tuning in, tuning towards. Looking in. And instead of being carried away by the external noise, the external happiness, we're actually looking inward to our own. So this idea of tuning in, not very different than tuning an instrument. I'm not a musician, but I often hear musicians saying they have to tune in their guitar. And I see that it takes a certain listening. They have to play the chords and pay attention to how it sounds. And then they might be too tight, they might be too loose. So they have to adjust them. So we can say that in the same way, our practice is a way to tune in, to see where we are, paying attention to what comes up. And silence is a great opportunity to do that. We must be able to hear. And not hearing with our ears, but hearing with our heart, right? That's what we're doing. And so then again, he takes that approach to that warmth, that approach to kindness, to do this towards ourselves, to know exactly where we are, and even maybe smile and notice that, wow, my mind is here, but it's okay. And so Billy Collins, in his poem Silence, says, there is the sudden silence of the crowd above a player not moving in the field, and the silence of the orchid. The silence of the falling vase before it strikes the floor. The stillness of the cup of water. The silence of the moon and the quiet of the day far from the roar of the sun. He says, the silence when I hold you to my chest. Maybe the invitation to hold ourselves in this way. The silence of the window above us. The silence when you rise and turn away. And there is the silence of this morning or evening. And if it's the morning, there's a silence that has piled up all night. And if it's the night, the silence that has piled up all day. Like snow falling in the darkness of the house. He says the silence before I wrote a word. And the poorer silence now. So there's opportunity in the silence. So maybe whenever you're ready, taking in a deep breath. And just checking in again to see what are you present with now. So thank you for this formal practice, for your silence, your commitment to your mindful life. to contributing to the world in this way. Thank you.